What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a hot minute since I posted a video. I've kind of lost the plot over the last few weeks. And this car in particular has really tested my willpower. But before we get into that, today's video is going to showcase Dave's LS swap BMW. I know you guys have seen the car before and you guys saw it on the dyno in the last video, but in today's video, Dave's actually going to be going to his first proper track event with the car. We're gearing up soon to go over to his, and we're going to go run through the car and you guys can actually see the finished product, because in the last video, we didn't really show too much of the car except for what was on the dyno. Yeah, so make sure you guys stay tuned towards the end of the video so you can see some sick LS BMW skids. Before we move into why I nearly threw my hands in the air with this car this week, or over the last 2 weeks actually, I'll quickly run you through some of the improvements that have gone into the car since you guys last saw it. Now, last time you guys would have seen the car, if you haven't seen the video, make sure you check it out. We had the car on the dyno at Pecky's Performance, and we managed to see that the car was running pretty lean on the dyno. So since then, it's had a new fuel system and a bunch of new stuff in it. So I'll explain along the way a few changes that we made to the car as well. So we can already see that there's a lot more going on here than what you guys would have seen last time. And that's brings me to one of the points as to why it was extremely frustrating to deal with. But we had to rewire the entire fuel system into the boot and straight off the battery, because we actually had a voltage drop at this surge tank pump. It was about maybe 2.2 volts, and then when the thermo fans kicked in as well, it dropped another half a volt or so, which was pretty bad. So we weren't going to be able to tune the car then. We had a brand new aeroflow lift pump in here as well, which actually did somehow just stop working. It was brand new. I've heard mixed reviews with the aeroflow pumps as well. Some guys say that they're all right, some guys have been running them for a while, some guys don't recommend them at all, but I guess I must have got a dud or something happened, but I couldn't even get any continuity across the pump. Big reason why the car had a voltage drop was, one, shitty earth. So we actually ran a decent earth cable all the way through to the front to run the negative bus bar under the dash, because it was previously just earthed from here to the body, from battery to body, and then it actually picked up an earth underneath the dash here from the body again to the bus bar. And this is that big earth cable that we ran, which we thought was gonna solve the issue straight away. Also, we got all brand new relays as well, because they started to get really hot, so we thought that might have had an issue as well. After looking a bit further, we actually did notice some of the wiring that was actually initially run to the pumps were actually really rubbish, and the gauge of wire was too thin. So we went and upgraded all the wiring, and I've actually just wired everything straight to the battery. So there's no voltage drop. There's about a 0.3 voltage drop to this fuel pump now. Nothing to this fuel pump. We did replace the shot aeroflow pump with a brand new Bosch 044, which is in now and working. Yeah, so that's the reason why we've now got a couple of relays in the boot and some fuses. I know it's still a bit messy. I am in the process of still rerouting everything, and I have some Nomex stuff to actually route it all neatly. I have started on this side and actually tucked everything away nice and neatly, but yeah, it will improve a bit more. There's a few things like putting some heat shrink over these lugs, the spade connectors, so that they don't arc out on other pins on the relays as well. So as I have done over here to that one over there, and a few of these ones around here. But yeah, just precautionary stuff as well. As for the actual fuel system, we'll start off with what we thought was the main issue last time, was the breather. We've actually gone and put a proper rollover breather system in the car with a little filter on the end of it. And that's, yeah, so we had to drill a hole in the tank and order a bulkhead fitting, and the tank actually breathes really nicely now, we hope anyway. All of the lines that were previously here, and I'll actually put a snapshot photo down below of what it looked like beforehand, but these were all really shitty. Actually, they're in the back of my ute here. Excuse all the mess, we're actually getting ready for an event. So, all of this stuff here. So that was what was in the car previously. That was the EF Falcon, I think, or an EB Falcon fuel filter. And all of these rubber hoses with hydraulic fittings. Now, I'm not bagging the hydraulic fittings. They're designed to handle some pretty high pressure stuff, but the hose was a bit how you go on, so we decided to replace everything. especially considering the injectors blocked up and failed last time. That's why the motor blew. So we've got all brand new Teflon braided stuff with some aeroflow fittings. I think this is a 100 micron filter before the fuel pump. Then obviously the fuel pump has got a filtration system in it itself. And over here we've got another filter that's an airflow, just an airflow inline filter, 10 micron I believe it is. So we can afford to have little bits and pieces of rubbish like you usually do get in your tank, just from, you know, being around the track, being around dusty environments and dirty environments around the track, which it'll happen, and we know we're safe. Everything at the front as well is all Teflon braided stuff now, to the reg and to the rail. So we have a pretty solid and sound fuel system. So during the week, a couple of weeks ago now, I think it was, we actually had the car back at Kilds again, and we were about to put it on the dyno following replacing the fuel system and finishing all that off. And that's when we diagnosed the voltage issue with the car. And I've already explained what the voltage issue was caused by. At the same time as that was happening, the car actually developed a lifter tick, which was like the last thing we needed at the time, because we still couldn't tune the car because the lifters were ticking to Kingdom Come. We put some more lifters in and put it all back together, and it seems fine now. So theoretically, the car is ready for a tune. I know I say this and I keep saying this, but I'm actually fingers crossed that this time is the time where it's ready to be tuned. I'm gonna do one thing during the week this week, and that's getting the injectors flow tested again. That's purely because when we ran the engine in for the car, and when it was on the dyno last time, despite having the injectors flow tested and cleaned already, we still had this stuff in the car and this filter. Yes, it's a brand new filter, but after cleaning out the fuel tank properly, we saw how much rubbish came out of there. I know I probably should have filmed bits and pieces over the last few weeks as the car was progressing to where it sits now and the highs and lows that I went through with the car over the last 3 weeks. But truth be told, when things start going wrong, one thing after another, it gets a bit defeating, and filming and picking up the camera is sort of the last thing on your mind. I sort of tend to struggle with that a bit, where if I get frustrated or stressed out, I just want to get my head down and get it finished and sort of pick up the car when it's in a good place again, and then go through all the stuff that's happened, like this video. Anyway, so we're gonna pick up at Dave's house. We're about to jump in the car and we're gonna go check out his car. Sweet, you guys remember Dave. Yeah, we're currently sitting inside of his LS BMW. A few changes happened since you guys last saw the car. It was on the dyno in the last video. If you haven't already checked it out, I'll leave a link in the description. Make sure you check out that video of Dave's car on the dyno and the S13 on the dyno last time. What power did it make last time?
So it made 306 at the rollers and 400 foot-pound of torque.
It's not too bad for a stock LS.
Yeah, I was happy. We'll do a cam heads and twin scrolls once we've done the diff gears, and then hopefully we'll be up around the 600 mark.
What size turbos are you going with that again?
Not 100% yet. We gotta do the math and work out what it needs. Quick math if we're twinning it. So
what's better than one scream pipe out the bonnet?
Yeah, two
scream pipes out the bonnet. So I can already see you got a bit going on in here since the last time I saw the car. Like, firstly, a roll cage.
The dash wasn't in. None of the wiring was in. So
we had the first track event a couple of weeks ago, and that didn't really go so well, did it?
No, it didn't. We had some suspension issues and braking issues and ended up in a tyre war. Turn 14, he was getting a lot of body roll. I came up too high and hit the ripple strip, and because it was lent right over, it's just launched itself back the other way and thrown me onto the grass. I've jumped on the picks to not rip up any grass, and the brake just went straight to the floor and the brake fitting blew apart.
Yeah, that's not good. And then you're just
I was just along for the ride.
Into the wall. Let's go and have a look. This definitely isn't going to be the last you guys see of this car. It's going to be in so many more videos. I'm not going to give too much away, but there is plans for complete color change, livery, and all the good things that go with that as well, just like my car. Wide body kit as well. So I'm not going to mention names of kits, colors or anything like that, so you guys have to stay tuned. Make sure you guys check it out. If you have any questions about this car, make sure you guys just leave a comment below. There's a few track days coming up, so we're going to try and get to as many of them as we can. If I'm not there with my car, we're going to be there supporting Dave and watching him rip and learn. Tonight will be your second time properly driving the car?
Second time this season.
Yeah, cool. I'm actually going to close the video off by giving you a quick montage of some skids that Dave has done tonight, so it'll be future filming. But yeah, make sure you guys check out the next videos. Stay tuned. I'm sorry again, I haven't posted in a little while, lost the plot, and I've just been all over the place, but Dave's kind of been my saving grace, my motivation to get the car finished and ready. So thanks, buddy. But yeah, I enjoy some skids. We'll see you next time.
Peace.